new discovery is shedding light on a mystery that dates back millennia. Many millennia. Italian and Scottish researchers, mainly from the University of Pisa, conducted advanced high-frequency radar mapping under Egypt's famous pyramids. Archaeologists have long studied the Giza plateau, where the Great Pyramid, the slightly smaller pyramid of Kafra. Now the Great Pyramid of Giza is probably the most stunning of all these ancient structures, and the Great Sphinx rise prominently above the desert. It's a single sculpture. It sits in a very particular place. It doesn't seem to have performed the same function at all. What was it for? This is what we really want to know. But a new discovery has turned their understanding upside down. Italian researchers used advanced scanning technology never before applied at the site. When they actually penetrated this small door, they found a hidden room within the pyramid. Their survey revealed evidence of paired monuments, a pattern that had gone unnoticed for centuries. All the network that we are detecting of the satellite technology, in my personal opinion, were built before the pyramids. The mystique of Giza, foundations of the ancient wonder. The Giza plateau has fascinated humans for thousands of years. The Great Pyramid and the Pyramid of Kafra dominate the landscape, while the Sphinx watches over the site with an expression that has sparked countless theories and debates. Together, these monuments create a remarkable and enduring archaeological setting, one that has drawn explorers, historians, and researchers for centuries. The pyramids are not just architectural feats. They hold deep cultural and symbolic meaning for Egypt. They represent the power and authority of the pharaohs, the beliefs of an entire civilization, and a vision of life after death that shaped the society for generations. The Great Pyramid, built for Pharaoh Khufu, was long thought to be the centerpiece of the plateau. Smaller pyramids nearby were believed to be tombs for queens and other nobles. This understanding of Giza as a carefully organized complex has guided archaeologists for decades. For centuries, teams of archaeologists have meticulously mapped every chamber, recorded every shaft, and documented the site in exhaustive detail. To most, Giza has seemed fully explored. Every stone has been measured, every tunnel cataloged, and the major structures analyzed. It is considered one of the best-studied archaeological sites in the world. Yet, even with this extensive work, there have always been whispers of mystery beneath the surface. Ancient records, travelers' accounts, and some local traditions hint at tunnels, shafts, and hidden voids that have never been fully understood or examined. Reports from locals suggest that certain areas of the plateau were long considered off-limits or dangerous. Some believe that unknown chambers lie deep beneath the pyramids, sealed or hidden intentionally. Some reports mention faint echoes of underground corridors or air currents coming from cracks in the limestone that suggest spaces nobody has entered in centuries. These accounts have been treated with caution by scientists, yet they fuel a sense of wonder and suspicion that the full story of Giza has never been told. While the surface of Giza had been studied for centuries, a group of researchers decided to take an unprecedented step to look beneath the plateau using technology that could see far deeper than anything tried before. The researchers and the revolutionary technology. The decision to look beneath Giza was not made lightly. For decades, archaeologists had relied on traditional excavation methods, including careful trenching, manual digging, stratigraphic analysis, and detailed recording of architectural features, chambers, corridors, and tombs that had survived the sands of time. These techniques allowed teams to document surface structures and shallow subterranean features with remarkable accuracy, revealing construction methods, burial practices, and artifacts from the old kingdom. Yet these methods had inherent limitations. Excavation is invasive, often restricted to accessible areas, and cannot penetrate deeply without risking structural damage to the pyramids and the surrounding plateau. Subsurface voids, dense bedrock, or deeply buried chambers could remain entirely undetected, and excavation at such depths was both impractical and hazardous. It was in response to these limitations that two Italian researchers, Filippo Bondi and Corrado Malanga, saw a different possibility. They believed that beneath the plateau, there could exist features entirely invisible to conventional study, structures that might radically reshape the understanding of the ancient world. Bondi and Malanga were not outsiders or hobbyists. Both had years of experience in archaeology and remote sensing, a field that uses technology to detect structures and disturbances below the surface. According to reports, their previous work had involved scanning difficult or dangerous sites where traditional excavation was impossible. They had developed a reputation for rigorous methodology and for pushing the boundaries of what technology could reveal. Their motivation was simple but ambitious. They wanted to explore what had never been explored, to go where no shovel or trowel could reach. They wanted to see beneath the plateau with a clarity that no previous generation could achieve. Some believed that their approach was risky. Others worried that relying on technology rather than direct excavation might produce false readings. Yet, Bondi and Malanga were determined to move forward. They reported that this could be the first time anyone attempted to map the deepest layers of Giza without disturbing the site. The technology they employed was called SR, Doppler tomography. It is a form of satellite radar that can detect underground vibrations and subtle changes in density below the surface. According to reports, the technique had been used successfully in other contexts, such as mapping magma chambers beneath Mount Vesuvius. Those experiments had demonstrated that the method could create accurate three-dimensional images of structures hundreds of meters underground. It was not magic, nor was it guesswork. It relied on repeated satellite passes, careful measurements of radar signals, and complex calculations to translate echoes into a three-dimensional map. Applying this technology to Giza was unprecedented. According to the researchers, the plateau presented challenges unlike any site they had studied before. The limestone bedrock, the density of the structures above ground, and the historical importance of the site meant they had to proceed with extreme care. Unverified reports show that months of calibration were necessary before the satellites could even begin collecting usable data. Every pass had to be precise, every signal verified and rechecked. The research community watched with cautious curiosity. Some experts expressed excitement at the potential for groundbreaking discoveries. Others urged restraint, warning that the results would have to be carefully interpreted before drawing conclusions. Despite the tension, Bondi and Malanga pushed forward, confident in the rigor of their methodology. According to insiders, they believed that the technology could reveal a new dimension of Giza, one that might finally answer long-standing questions about the plateau. By the time their scans were completed, the team had amassed a volume of data never seen before. The results were said to show anomalies and formations that could not be explained by natural geology alone. The discovery beneath Kafra. When the data from the scans was processed, the team of Italian researchers was confronted with something astonishing. They claim to have discovered wells, caverns, and shafts that are more than 2,000 feet underground. If accurate, it changes the face of history as we know it. According to reports, the tomographic images revealed a series of vertical structures beneath the pyramid of Kafra, unlike anything seen before. There were 8 massive pillars stretching deep into the bedrock. The shapes appeared deliberate, symmetrical, and unlike anything that could be explained by natural geology alone. The size and scale of these structures immediately captured the attention of the research team. Within these vertical forms, the scans reportedly showed 5 relieving chambers stacked one above another. These chambers appeared precisely aligned, forming a tiered system that suggested advanced planning. Some believe these spaces were built to bear enormous weight or to channel energy, while others think they may have had ceremonial significance. Reports show that the chambers seem to follow a pattern, each one directly connected to the pillars, giving the impression of an integrated architectural system deep below the plateau. Inside the pillars, the tomography suggested spiral staircases. These staircases seem to wind downward along the columns, creating passageways that may have allowed movement through the structures. The spirals were remarkably uniform, raising questions about how the ancient engineers could have achieved such precision so far underground. Reports indicate that the staircases connect the relieving chambers to other parts of the formation, forming a network that is both complex and highly organized. At the base of each pillar, the scans showed enormous square platforms. There were 4 of these platforms beneath the 8 columns. Some experts speculate that these may have acted as foundations, while others think they could have had symbolic or structural purposes. Each platform reportedly aligns perfectly with the pillars above it, reinforcing the idea that these were not random geological features. The scale of the structures is staggering. According to the data, the pillars and chambers may extend as far as 600 meters below the surface. Some reports suggest that the network could cover a footprint of up to 2 kilometers, implying that this is not a small or isolated feature, but part of an extensive system beneath Kafra. The sheer size challenges conventional ideas about the engineering capabilities of the builders and raises intense curiosity about their purpose. The tomographic slices themselves appear in color-coded images that clearly distinguish the formations from the surrounding rock. Observers have noted that the shapes look deliberate, showing straight lines, right angles, and regular curves that are difficult to attribute to natural processes. Some believe these images provide the first visual evidence of an underground system that was previously only the subject of speculation and legend. According to reports, the team approached the findings with a mixture of excitement and caution. The audacity of the discovery left them aware of the responsibility to interpret it carefully. The structures suggested planning, skill, and knowledge far beyond what was expected for the period. Some team members reportedly felt shock and disbelief at the scale, while others were intensely curious about the possibilities. But these were not just pillars. The researchers suggested that the structures could be part of a vast subterranean complex, perhaps a hidden world beneath Kafra, mirroring the grandeur above ground. The implications of these formations would take the study of Giza into a realm that had never been seriously considered before. Not everyone believed the scans. Experts immediately clashed over the findings, calling them exaggerated or impossible, and fierce debate erupted over what truly lay beneath Kafra. Opposing theories and the clash of experts. As the Italian team released their tomographic images and preliminary reports, Italian and Scottish researchers, mainly from the University of Pisa, conducted advanced high-frequency radar mapping under Egypt's famous pyramids. The claims immediately drew intense scrutiny from the broader archaeological community. Leading experts quickly expressed doubt. Some called the findings exaggerated, while others openly questioned the methodology, suggesting that the images could be misinterpreted or influenced by technical artifacts. The scale and complexity of what was reported beneath Kafra seemed almost impossible. For centuries, archaeologists had studied the plateau, and the engineering feats of the Old Kingdom were well documented. Many scientists struggled to reconcile these newly suggested structures with what was historically known about ancient Egyptian building techniques, tools, and logistical capabilities. Several archaeologists argued that the vertical structures and chambers were likely natural formations within the limestone bedrock. According to reports, fractures, fissures, or variations in rock density could produce anomalies in tomographic scans that resemble human-made structures. Others noted that the colored images produced by the SAR Doppler tomography software might create patterns or artifacts that appear deliberate but are actually distortions of the data. The reported spiraling staircases and square platforms were especially contentious. As skeptics suggested, they could be imaging artifacts rather than real constructions. Practical considerations fueled further skepticism. Experts pointed out that any structure extending hundreds of meters below Kafra would face immense engineering challenges. Questions arose about how such deep chambers could remain stable for millennia, how ventilation and water management could have been handled, and why no historical records, inscriptions, or visible traces hinted at their existence. Some researchers speculated that the claims reflected overinterpretation or even a desire to sensationalize findings rather than solid evidence. Despite the widespread doubt, not all archaeologists dismissed the results outright. Some expressed cautious curiosity, acknowledging that the anomalies were technically testable. They emphasized the importance of independent verification, peer-reviewed publication, and replication of results before drawing conclusions. According to reports, these experts stressed that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence and that scientific rigor could not be compromised for the sake of excitement. The clash of opinions created a high-stakes environment. On one side were the Italian researchers, confident in their methods and findings. On the other were leading archaeologists insisting that the discoveries were either misread or impossible. The intensity of the debate reflected both professional skepticism and genuine fascination with Giza. Everyone understood the potential impact if the claims turned out to be true, not only for the study of Kafra's pyramid, but for the understanding of Old Kingdom engineering, labor organization, and subterranean construction. To resolve the question, a new team of archaeologists stepped in, determined to independently verify what the Italian researchers had found. This next phase would prove decisive, testing both the limits of modern technology and the assumptions held about one of the most studied archaeological sites in the world. Testing the claims, archaeologists take the lead. Following the controversy sparked by the Italian team's claims, an international group of archaeologists took on the challenge of verification. According to reports, this team included some of the most respected experts in Giza archaeology, remote sensing, and non-invasive scanning techniques. Many of these archaeologists had been working on the Giza plateau for over a decade, studying its surface pyramids, hidden shafts, and ancient tunnels. Their experience made them uniquely qualified to evaluate the Italian team's claims, but it also added pressure. They understood the stakes. Confirming such a discovery could rewrite centuries of understanding about the Old Kingdom and the construction of Kafra's pyramid. The verification team approached the project with meticulous care. According to insiders, they relied on a combination of advanced Doppler tomography, refined ground-penetrating radar scans, and muon tomography to examine the plateau. Each method had its own strengths and limitations. SAR tomography allowed them to detect subtle underground variations across wide areas. Ground-penetrating radar provided high-resolution images of shallower features. Muon tomography offered insights into dense structures deep below the surface. By combining these techniques, the team aimed to reduce uncertainty and avoid misinterpretation. Reports indicate that the process was slow, painstaking, and exhausting. Every scan had to be repeated, calibrated, and compared with others to rule out potential errors. According to the archaeologists, initial images were sometimes ambiguous, and anomalies needed cross-checking to distinguish real structures from natural formations or artifacts created by the scanning process. The team reportedly spent months reviewing raw data, comparing results from different methods, and documenting their observations in precise detail. Every measurement and calculation was double-checked, ensuring that nothing was left to chance. As the verification progressed, patterns began to emerge. The anomalies reported by the Italian team appeared consistently across all three scanning techniques. According to reports, the vertical structures beneath Kafra, the stacked chambers, and other unusual formations were confirmed independently. Some team members reportedly experienced shock at the clarity and scale of the images. Others described a mix of disbelief, cautious excitement, and concern. They understood the implications. Confirming these structures could challenge centuries of assumptions about Giza's construction and the capabilities of Old Kingdom engineers. This is the most remarkable aspect of the investigation, and the most complex to figure out and reproducible. Peer-reviewed publication was planned with raw data, methodology, and error analyses ready for scrutiny. The team reportedly emphasized scientific rigor above all else. They knew that any claim of this magnitude would invite skepticism, and they were determined to ensure that their results could withstand the highest levels of scrutiny. By the end of the verification phase, the team had effectively confirmed what the Italian researchers had discovered. According to unverified reports, the anomalies beneath Kafra were not the result of natural geology or technical error. The vertical structures, chambers, and complex formations were real, and multiple independent scans supported their existence. This confirmation provided a breakthrough moment in the investigation of Giza's underground mysteries. Even with the confirmation, however, the archaeologists understood that the story was far from complete. After months of meticulous scanning and cross-verification, the verification team uncovered something extraordinary. A hidden twin monument adjacent to Kafra, confirming what many had only dared to imagine. The confirmed paired monuments. After months of meticulous verification, the international team of archaeologists reached a conclusion that sent shockwaves through the field. According to reports, the data confirmed the existence of not one but two massive structures beneath and adjacent to the Pyramid of Kafra. These twin monuments were aligned with remarkable precision, mirroring each other across the plateau. The confirmation came from multiple independent technologies, including SAR tomography, muon imaging, and refined ground-penetrating radar. Every scan reinforced the reality of the formations, leaving no room for doubt. The architectural complexity of the twin monuments is staggering. The scans reportedly revealed deep vertical pillars extending hundreds of meters underground with structured chambers interspersed along the columns. Some chambers appear stacked, forming a tiered arrangement that would have required careful planning and extraordinary engineering skill. It must have made sense in a magical way, what we would call magic. There must have been spiritual power that made them take these choices. According to unverified reports, spiral passages and connecting corridors link the chambers in ways that suggest deliberate functionality rather than random formation. Observers noted that the precision and scale indicate a level of sophistication far beyond any previously documented structures from the Old Kingdom. The size and orientation of the paired monuments are equally remarkable. Reports show that the two structures are roughly parallel, extending beneath the plateau in alignment with surface pyramids. The footprint of each monument is massive, spanning hundreds of meters, and some believe the total subterranean network could cover nearly 2 kilometers. According to experts, the symmetry and integration with existing surface monuments point to a carefully planned design. This was not a hidden or accidental formation. It was intentional, executed with exacting precision. The confirmation explains why these structures had remained hidden for millennia. Traditional excavation methods cannot penetrate to such depths without disturbing. The plateau and past scanning technology lacked the resolution to detect the anomalies. Historical focus had always been on the visible pyramids above ground, leaving the underground entirely unexplored. According to reports, even those familiar with Giza's tunnels and shafts had not imagined the presence of twin monuments on this scale. The reaction among the archaeological community was immediate and intense. Experts reportedly expressed astonishment and began re-evaluating long-held assumptions about Old Kingdom construction techniques. The confirmation of these twin monuments suggested that the builders of Kafra's pyramid did not just construct above ground. They also created an equally monumental world below, a parallel complex designed with precision, purpose, and symmetry. Some of the archaeologists who had initially opposed the Italian researchers' claims reportedly issued public apologies, acknowledging that their skepticism had been premature and that the evidence left no room for doubt. The discovery forced the entire field to confront a new reality about the sophistication and ambition of ancient Egyptian engineering. The significance of the discovery goes beyond simply identifying unusual formations. This is not a minor anomaly or a natural quirk in the limestone. The evidence points to a deliberate, carefully planned underground system, demonstrating the advanced engineering skills and organizational capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. According to insiders, the confirmation represents a turning point in the study of Giza. For the first time, there is tangible, verifiable proof that massive, purpose-built structures exist beneath the plateau. This finding challenges long-held assumptions about Old Kingdom construction, prompting researchers to reconsider the methods, planning, and labor involved in building not just the pyramids above ground, but a complex subterranean network that was previously unknown. Understanding these structures could provide new insights into their intended function, whether structural, ceremonial, or symbolic. If you enjoyed watching this video, kindly like and subscribe to this channel.